and I want to talk to you about New Year's resolutions today. And I've heard so many people already giving up on their New Year's resolutions, saying it's not worth it. Everyone fails. I don't want to set myself up and then fail. So, what I want to do today is talk to you about New Year's resolutions and why they actually can be a good thing. So, don't give up on them. Go ahead, even if you haven't set them yet, you can still go ahead and set your New Year's resolutions. It's not too late. It's still January. And I have some questions to ask you to help you make sure that you're able to achieve these New Year's resolutions, because really what these are just goals. And so I don't want people to give up on goals. And the beginning of the year is a great time to set a goal and achieve it. But a lot of times people make some pretty big mistakes. So, if you don't know me, I'm a naturopathic physician, and I also actually have a master's degree in spiritual psychology. The reason why I went back to school and got this master's degree in spiritual psychology has a lot to do with what I'm talking about today. Because when I was working at the Waldorf Astoria in Park City and I was leading people through weight loss programs and various programs, I realized there were certain things that really got in people's way that were beyond physical. A lot of it was in their head. And so that was partly why I decided to go back to school, get a master's degree in spiritual psychology to help people unravel what is beneath them not being able to achieve goals. So that's why I wanted to hop on today and talk with you about New Year's resolutions so that you can achieve yours. It really is possible. And actually, it is a myth that people will just not achieve New Year's resolutions, that people always fail. That is not true. It is very easy to achieve your New Year's resolutions if you do it the right way. Now, first of all, I want to mention there was a study a couple of years ago that talked about goal-oriented versus avoidance-oriented goals, or New Year's resolutions. So that's one of the mistakes people make, because when people make the avoidance-oriented New Year's resolutions, it kind of is more sets them up for failure. So definitely people achieve their New Year's resolutions more likely if they have more goal oriented. So, what that means is when you're setting up your resolutions and saying, I'm not going to do this anymore, those kinds of New Year's resolutions don't do as well as ones where you have a positive goal, like, I'm going to be doing this. And so a lot of New Year's resolutions are around health. The majority of New Year's resolutions that people make, they're around their physical body, their physical health, weight, eating. And so, for example, if you want to eat healthier, instead of saying something like, I'm going to give up sugar and I'm going to give up, whatever the list of things are, processed foods and fast foods. Instead of saying that, set your New Year's resolution up as, I'm going to eat healthier. I'm going to eat these things that are healthier, that are nourishing for my body instead. So the study shows that definitely when people focus on more of a positive goal, they achieve those better than them focusing on an avoidance type of goal. So I hope that makes sense. Feel free to post questions if you guys have questions about this. But I want to run you through a few questions, 5 questions, to help you think about your New Year's resolutions. And if you haven't set one yet, or maybe you want to have a few, please, it's not too late. You can still do this. But if you've set some New Year's resolutions and you're already starting to think this is not going to happen, well, you might want to run them through these 5 questions and reevaluate, rewrite them, and so you could set yourself up for success. I've been a naturopathic doctor for over 20 years, and I've helped people achieve many goals. And New Year's resolutions are just one of these things. It's just goals. So we just need to frame them correctly. And I definitely have seen over the years how to help people reframe their goals. So they might come in and say to me, Dr. Hayes, I need, to do these things. And their list is so long. And I'm like, okay, let's just focus on one. So there are some things that can really help set you up for success on achieving your goals. Whether maybe you're not even, maybe you're watching this video and it's, in the middle of summer, you could still achieve your goals. But New Year's is like right here, and it's a great time because we've gotten through the holidays. We have maybe overindulged a bit too much, and we're trying to get back on track. And so I know it's already January 13th. We're almost halfway through the month. It's not too late. So here are 5 questions to ask yourself about your New Year's resolutions. And take a sip of my tea first. Are your goals realistic and achievable? That is one thing when people have come in to see me in my practice, that is one of the biggest things is people come in with a big, huge, long list of goals or some massive goal that is just not realistic. Dr. Hayes, I need to lose 100 pounds. Not that's an exaggeration, but you got to have a realistic and achievable goal. You've got to set yourself up for success. So that's the first question. Are your goals realistic and achievable? So if the answer is no, like you realize, like, there's no way I can achieve this, then you're just not going to set yourself up for success. So reframe your New Year's resolution to make it realistic and achievable. And if you exceed your expectations, if you exceed your basic goal, then that's like bonus. But at the very least, if you're trying to lose weight, maybe you just want to lose 5 pounds and have it be within 2 months. And so if you actually lose that weight before that time period, or you lose more weight than that, then that's bonus. And by the way, weight loss, I want to be very careful with that because I think there's definitely healthy ways to lose weight, and there's definitely not healthy ways to lose weight. What we want to do is be very mindful of not having a very restrictive program that we're on, and having a very nourishing and supportive program. And that includes your mindset. So weight loss could be tricky, but it also is possible, especially when you have a healthy frame of mind around it. Most of the people that come see me at this point have more to do with skin goals or having to do with their hormones. And so those are, I think, a lot of times people don't even know what to expect. Sometimes, though, their goals might be unrealistic. Like, I have a wedding coming up in 2 weeks, and I want my skin to be completely clear, and their face is covered in acne. That's not necessarily a realistic goal. It's possible that you could have some significant improvement within a couple weeks. And that's why I have a 2-week program to help people, is because you can see a significant change in 2 weeks. But when someone's been struggling with a health issue like acne for a long time, we want to have realistic expectations of how long it's going to take to overcome that, to have the kind of skin that you're hoping for. And it might be more like 8 months or 3 months to really start to notice a significant difference if it's been something you've struggling with a long time. Now, if you're just looking for like a healthier, vibrant glow and your skin's already doing pretty well, but you've got, there's a wedding coming up in a month and you're like, I just want to have that really healthy glow, that's definitely achievable. And that's something that I could certainly help someone with. So that's the first question. Are your goals, are your New Year's resolutions realistic and achievable? The second question is, did you set parameters around your New Year's resolutions? So that's really helpful if you set, for example, a time frame. As I was talking, giving a few examples, is it 2 weeks? Is it a month? Is it the year? So sometime this year, I want to achieve this. Or by the end of 2022, I want to really get my health back on track. I want to be eating healthier, and I want to have healthier, more glowing skin. Yeah, that's, you're giving yourself a year to do that. That's plenty of time. And most likely you'd be able to achieve that. If you have a shorter time frame, that's fine. But it's nice to know, what is the timeline that you're expecting? What are kind of some numbers around what are the goals you're trying to achieve? That can be really helpful. And so why that's helpful is, like, especially if you're working with a healthcare provider, every time you go in for your follow-up, there's some sort of measurable way of looking at your goal. So You can, if you're looking at body composition, your healthcare provider can check your body composition every time you're going in and looking at that. If you're looking at skin changes, your dermatologist, your esthetician, your naturopathic doctor can look at your skin and say, okay, we're moving in this direction. Within this number of weeks, we've seen this kind of improvement. And then we still have time to achieve your goal. So, having some parameters around how and when you achieve your New Year's resolutions is extremely valuable. The third question is, what kind of support structure do you have? To achieve New Year's resolutions, it's important to have a support structure. It's really helpful to have some sort of coach, like a life coach, or like I said, naturopathic doctor, your dermatologist, your esthetician, depends on what your kind of goals you're talking about. Or even if it's an accountability buddy, it's a friend who's doing a program with you. If you're doing it as a group, you have a whole group of people to help support you with it. So having other people that have a similar goal or that can help support you in your goal is really helpful. That's why with the Clean Skin from Within Reboot program, my program that we do every January, I have a Facebook group, the Clean Skin from Within Facebook group. It's nice to have a group where you can have support. Other people are posting pictures in there, and you can post your questions, your challenges, that sort of thing. And then that way you have some support. So look for groups and memberships and friends that you can do things with, maybe your partner. I know this time my fiance is doing the program with me as I'm doing it live with my followers. And so it's really great to have that kind of support and have other people to do it with. So the fourth question to ask about your New Year's resolutions to make sure they're really on track is, this is an interesting. I read this in a similar kind of aspect around this in a Forbes magazine article, which is, how much do you really want to achieve this goal? This is a really important question, and then this goes back to my training in spiritual psychology, my master's degree in spiritual psychology, is that a lot of times we set up a goal or set up a New Year's resolution, not really wanting to achieve it. And I know that might sound weird, but there are people that it's actually someone else's goal. Maybe it's their partner's goal and they're trying to achieve it. And they're like, oh, okay, yeah, I want to go to CrossFit and get in shape. But that's not really their own goal. Or maybe it's something that, their parents want or their friends are doing, but they don't have the same goal. You have to really want to achieve this goal. And if you're just doing it to make someone else happy, you are, you're just not going to set yourself up for success. So you really have to want to achieve this goal. If you ask yourself, how much do I want to achieve this goal? And it's not 100%, find a New Year's resolution, revise your goal, revise your New Year's resolution so that you 100% want to achieve this goal. And the fifth question I would ask of your New Year's resolution is, what is the motivating factor behind your goal? Again, this is going back to spiritual psychology and looking at why is it that we want to achieve a goal? If we have like a clearing up our skin goal or a weight loss goal or some other more physical goal, is it for ourselves or is it to please someone else? Is it to get more attention, or is it because we really want to honor ourselves? Because if we're just doing it for someone else or to physically just look better, it's not enough of a motivating factor. And if the motivating factor is actually, if you look at it and you think about it, it has more to do with some sort of hurt from the past. Maybe someone told you, oh, you have really bad skin, or oh, you're overweight. And so you're doing it. A motivating factor behind it is because you've been hurt by something someone said. That is not going to be a great motivating factor behind achieving your goal. The best thing to do first is to dig deep and look at, what is it that why would it be a self-honoring choice for yourself? How could you do this for yourself? Or do have a different goal. Maybe instead of trying to lose weight, you just want to eat healthier and feel vibrant. And so that's a way healthier goal than trying to have a physical change that is going to please other people, because that's not going to ultimately make you happier, and it's ultimately not going to help set you up for success on achieving your goal. So you really want to dig deep on these New Year's resolutions. Why am I doing this? What's underneath this? Did someone give me some sort of insult or put some pressure on me or guilt me into and shame me into doing something or say something? And is that why I'm setting up this New Year's resolution? Or am I doing it because it's really a self honoring choice? A self honoring choice is something that lifts your spirits, that feeds your soul, that is healthy for your body and your mind. And if it doesn't meet those criteria, then it's time to get a New Year's resolution. So I hope you have enjoyed these 5 questions. Take your New Year's resolution through these 5 questions. And if you haven't set a New Year's resolution, it's not too late. It's actually a great thing to do. I encourage you to do that. Don't listen to those naysayers that say New Year's resolutions don't work. It really depends. If you think that you have a goal that you want to achieve, go do it. Set yourself up for success and ask yourself these 5 questions. We'll save this video so that you can watch it again if you just happen to only catch part of it. But I wish you the best of luck with your New Year's resolutions. Post any questions that you have, and I will see